Welcome to the Circle Investor Real Estate Training Course.
This is your crash course on everything we think you should know before buying your first rental property in Indianapolis.
On today's course, we talk about
An LLC is a tool. It's not a requirement. You are not required to own an LLC to own rental properties. Avoid lawsuits by being a good landlord, not by having an LLC. We are going to be getting into an interesting topic today, which is, do I need an LLC to own rental properties? And the gist of it is, but we're going to get into a lot of the nuance and kind of work through it. Gist of it is, an LLC is a tool. It's not a requirement. You are not required to own an LLC to own rental properties. The right ownership structure for your properties really does depend on your financing strategy, just what your personal risk tolerance is, portfolio size, and your long-term goals. So we're going to kind of talk about all of those aspects and take it away.
Yeah, let's jump right in. Many successful investors own properties personally. Many of them have an LLC. Some use a trust to own everything. A bunch of different ways to go, different strategies, like Ryan mentioned. I know you have a rental portfolio of your own. I don't know if you want to talk too much about your personal details. What's the first piece of advice, or maybe the first question you would ask to an investor to start to determine which direction to go?
Yeah, so I'd say when it comes to forming an LLC, I have a few. Sometimes I wish I had less, so that might be telling of the type of advice I might give. But in terms of, and I should clarify this, like Stuart and I, we're both not attorneys. This isn't legal advice. We're just sharing from, our own personal experience, working with investors that have used LLCs or bought properties in their personal names, and my, our own experience here. So I've used LLCs to purchase properties. I've also bought properties in my personal name. I've bought properties in my personal name, then formed an LLC, then quit claimed the property from my personal name into that LLC. So all of those things are possible. It's something investors do. Really, we can get into kind of the main motivations why people in general form LLCs. Main one being liability protection, asset segregation, which is, it's just separating assets, which can be helpful for just family financial planning. Also as kind of a tax strategy, if you have these assets grouped together in the same LLC, you can end up with a higher tax bill than if you separate them into multiple LLCs. So that can be, a reason to do it. Partnership ownership, estate planning, or even just professional business structure. Really, I'd say that out of that list, my main motivators for the LLCs I've formed are really kind of the third one and the last one, the partnership ownership, professional business structure. So I have an LLC for my real estate company, Intrigue Property Management. I want to keep my property LLC separate from that, and also include my wife in that LLC, who it's her income just as well as mine that contributed to purchasing the properties we had. So I'm the sole owner of this company, Intrigue, but I want my wife to be a co-owner of the property. So it wouldn't make sense from a partnership standpoint for me to just purchase properties in the name of Intrigue. Also, from the liability protection standpoint, when you have a small, mid, or large company, it can make you a little vulnerable when you have a rental property in the same LLC as that company, because there's the perception there, and again, talk to an attorney about that one, but there might be more risk of them going after higher pay from lawsuits and things like that. But the partnership ownership, that's That's the reason why I've formed an LLC that my wife and I own properties in. I also have a separate LLC where I have two partners that are friends from college that we own a few properties together, and I'm a 1/3 owner, which without forming an LLC, that would be very tricky to do, to own it in 3 of our personal names equally. It's much easier for us to form an operating agreement for an LLC and then use that LLC to purchase properties.
Yeah. So lots of trade-offs here, financing and protection. Investors will purchase properties in their own name personally or in an LLC name for a number of reasons. If you're purchasing personally, there's going to be better financing, lower rates, lower down payments. Investors will purchase in an LLC's name for liability concerns, for portfolio organization, like you said, a business, a partnership, ownership type of situation, and scalability. Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, just that was, I almost said that on the last point, is just with the partnership I have with 2 partners LLC, and we've been purchasing properties. One of the limitations of that is we have to get commercial financing on those properties. Commercial financing, even if you're working at scale and you have good relationships with those lenders, they are usually not going to be able to beat the rates a personal mortgage loan. So these government-backed mortgage loans, Fannie Mae type loans, those loans are kind of the cheapest debt you can get in the country, besides student loans maybe. It's pretty much the baseline for interest rates. So that is one reason why, if you're just starting out, you could argue that you're better off buying it in your personal name and doing that for a while as you build up your portfolio, because you're going to get a lot better financing terms. Once you have some scale, that's where it can make sense to, and maybe once you're a little less dependent on financing, it can make sense to form an LLC and move the properties into that LLC at that point.
Yeah, a good strategy for someone who is potentially relocating for work and they're not going to sell their house. They're going to keep it and use it as a rental property. That could be a good transition for them.
Yeah, and we've on this show a couple times, we affectionately call those people accidental landlords. If that's you, where it's like, hey, this was just our personal residence, now we're moving, we may not ever own more than one rental property, but this is our first, and we're moving to another house. That's somebody who I would really, and it's up to you, your overall picture. Only you really know what all of your ultimate end goals are. But that's somebody who I'd say probably doesn't need an LLC and is totally fine just doing it in their personal name.
Any follow-up points there? Someone who's involved in several LLCs before we move on?
No, I think we can move on to the let's get into the LLC myth.
Sure. Yeah. There are several layers to this. And I know if you're an attorney or an accountant, you might be listening to this kind of rolling your eyes. That's probably a good guest to have on, as someone who's in that field. But it's a layered conversation and a layered structure. So speak to some of the myths that some people believe about LLCs.
Well, first of all, when I get the question, hey, do I need to form an LLC so that I can buy rental properties? Do I need to form an LLC first? Or I'll even get people coming to me like, I'm ready to buy rental properties. I've already formed my LLC. Those are like those are the my reaction, or what I'm usually thinking in those scenarios is like, you're putting the cart ahead of the horse. Like, find the rental property first. Like, it's okay if you want to. It's very quick. It's pretty quick and easy to form an LLC. But focus on, you're kind of focusing on the wrong thing in my opinion. And the energy that you kind of feel from people that are like, that think like, I have to get this LLC before I do anything else, before I even think about owning a rental property. I think you're buying into that LLC myth, which is you think that an LLC is going to solve all your problems. It's not. So what is an LLC not a substitute for? An LLC is not a substitute for landlord insurance. A tree can still fall on your house if it's owned by an LLC, right? So you still got to pay insurance. It's not umbrella coverage. Like it's not going to cover it's not like an added layer of insurance for across your portfolio. It's not business insurance. It doesn't replace good property management. Your relationship with your tenant and your whether or not your tenant pays rent, or your vacancy rate. Those are things your property manager can affect a lot more than having or not having an LLC, right? It's not necessarily a replacement for proper documentation. So when you're forming an LLC, a good example is like getting financing on a property. Just because you have it in an LLC, if you have financing in your personal name, what you've really done is you've made it very easy for if a tenant wants to sue you, and like they call it piercing the corporate veil, right? You've made it very easy for an opposing counsel. Again, not an attorney. I've just talked to a lot of them, but that you're making it very easy for them to pierce that corporate veil and say like, well, yeah, they own it in this LLC, but it's a single member LLC of this person, and they have financing in their personal name. So, ultimately, avoid lawsuits by being a good landlord, not by having an LLC.
Yeah, and I think like in summation of this entire episode and this entire training course in general, like having an LLC is just one piece of the strategy, right? You still have to have good deals presented to you by a good agent. You still have to have good contractors that you want to work with. You have to have all the right aces in their places, and an LLC can be a good tool.
Yeah, exactly. LLCs can be they can be a great tool to use, but I think of mine as more of a helping me from a tax planning standpoint. Not exactly like the LLC itself is saving me on taxes. It just helps me plan for taxes so that I can figure out ways to possibly save money on taxes. It helps me keep things organized. I can keep my personal expenses over here, and then I run everything through the business that is a business expense. I think generally for most entrepreneurs, if you're starting a business or if you're starting multiple businesses, just having those businesses inside LLCs, it just helps. It keeps you organized so that you can track where all of your assets are, where your expenses and income is. So that I think is the biggest advantage that I've experienced from having an LLC.
Yeah. So there is no one answer to like, should I form an LLC? That's just the beginning of the whole conversation. Are you going to use one LLC or multiple, depending on what you're trying to do? So I want to ask you one final question here. Would you structure your business or your LLCs differently if you started back at day one? Would you do anything different?
That's such a good question. And the truth is, I just always feel like I'm at day one. I don't know if that's just a syndrome of being an entrepreneur. Like I'm just like, there's so much stuff I already want to continue to grow and change about how everything is structured. But I think something I might do differently. I'd say before putting properties into an LLC, I mentioned on here that it is very quick and easy to form an LLC because it is. You don't really technically need an attorney to start an LLC. I've started several just by going on our state website, and you submit a form to the Secretary of State, and an hour later you've formed your LLC. It really is that simple. However, and I think that was actually for the real estate and management company. If you're starting a service business, that type of LLC that's not necessarily going to own any assets, at least not any for a long time, totally do it that way. if you're going to start an LLC that's going to own assets, I would highly recommend like sit down with an attorney, sit down with your CPA, and do some planning before you ever form an LLC. Before you ever form an LLC, either to purchase property or even quit claim your existing property into, like have a framework built. You know, maybe a metaphor is like, I don't know if you're familiar with like building a website, right? Like how a website functions. You've got the web pages, how they're each designed, but they're all supposed to be part of a overall navigation. LLCs are kind of the same. Like there should be a way all of these assets are positioned throughout your entire portfolio. And sometimes having multiple LLCs is part of that. Sometimes having one LLC is necessary for that. But sit down with a professional to plan that out before pulling the trigger.
Excellent. I think that's a good stopping point. Thanks for tuning in to this episode, and we're on to the next one. We'll see you there.
If you learned something from today's course, please give us a 5-star review on Spotify and like the episode and subscribe on YouTube. That really helps us out.
If you think someone you know could benefit from the things you've heard today, please share it with them.
You can check out our full library of episodes and courses wherever you get your podcasts. And if you have any suggestions for future topics, please shoot us an email at thecircleinvestorpod@gmail.com.
That's it for today, but join us next time on the Circle Investor Real Estate Training Course.